For better or for worse, it's not the sort of thing you can fake. There's no substitute, no alternative, no replacement. But without it, political parties of any and all stripes have learned again and again, perhaps some more recently than others, that without genuine grassroots enthusiasm, authentic excitement among the vast majority of your voters, electorally, you are toast. So you can understand why Democrats are starting to feel like they've got their mojo back today, the wind back in their sails, thanks to a rather unexpected issue. What NBC News calls the, quote, burning hot center of Democratic politics right now, the battle over redistricting. It started in the state of Texas, where today Texas Governor Greg Abbott is once again threatening the Democratic lawmakers who fled that state in order to deny Republicans a quorum as they endeavor to rip up Texas's congressional districts mid-decade. Abbott says once the legislature's special session ends Friday, he plans to immediately begin a new one until he can push through his new, even more Republican-friendly map, a special request from Donald Trump. One of those Democrats outside of Texas state lines right now is Representative James Tallarico. Fox News invited him on their air yesterday to talk gerrymandering, and this is how it went.
You gave the ball game analogy. In my view, what has happened here is you've done something in certain states, and you don't like it when it's done in Republican states. And now you're saying you've done the same thing as us. You've done the same thing as us, and we are going to, by the way, if you do it, we're going to ratchet it up even more, in the words of Gavin Newsom.
My party has never gerrymandered in the middle of the decade at the request of the President of the United States, nor would we. The only way this is going to happen in blue states is if Texas executes this power grab. You mentioned Massachusetts. Right. Do you know the party of the governor that signed that map into law? He was a Republican. It was a Republican governor that signed that map into law. So I just want to be clear with our facts, and I don't want to muddy the waters. All of us, whether we're Democrats, independents, or Republicans, we should stand up to politicians who don't want to face accountability at the ballot box. That's exactly what's happening here. And I asked you, if Republican policies are popular, why do they need to redraw these maps? Why can't they just run on their policies?
I'm getting wrapped on time. I'm enjoying this conversation. I want to let it go on.
Will Cain looks like he needs a lifeline. But it isn't just Texas Democrats who are now vowing to fight fire with fire in what Democrats see as what it is, a Republican power grab. But their party allies, other Democrats, have entered the fray as well. California's Governor Gavin Newsom, for instance, has spent the better part of the week masterfully trolling Donald Trump online. It culminated in an all-caps threat written in very Trumpian style to make sure he understood it, I guess. Quote, Donald Taco Trump, as many call him, quote, missed the deadline, exclamation point. California will now draw new, more beautiful maps. They will be historic as they will end the Trump presidency. Dems take back the House. Big press conference this week with powerful Dems and Gavin Newsom, your favorite governor, that will be devastating for MAGA. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, whatever happens in California or Texas or Illinois or anywhere else, it's clear Democrats have some momentum back. They're energized, not just by the issues, but by their own voters who are all too eager to see them fight. It's where we start today with some of our favorite reporters and friends. Managing editor of The Bulwark, MSNBC contributor Sam Stein's here. Also joining us, pollster and president of Brilliant Corners Research, MSNBC political analyst Cornell Belcher's here. And we start with Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia of California, ranking member of the Oversight Committee. Congressman, I like the translation feature, and I feel like, among other things, what Gavin Newsom has cracked the code on is that translation into Donald Trump's social media posting language. Quite an epic troll of him. But on the substance of this, where do you see this fight?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, people are energized, and if Texas is going to punch, California is going to punch back harder. And people are right now in a fighting mood. This has united the party. We're ready to push back. And this is the way Donald Trump have made it clear that how he wants to rig the 2026 election. A lot of us have been kind of contemplating how he's going to try to rig the 2028 election. No, it's the 2026 election is how he's going to plan on doing it. And so we support the governor's effort. He is punching back just as he should be. We are all behind this effort. And what we're going to do in California is not just match Texas seat to seat. We're going to ensure that all of our members that are in tougher seats are also in bluer seats. And so we're going to build a firewall in our state. And we're in this fight because Donald Trump wants to be in it. And the only thing that Donald Trump understands is brute force. We've got to take him for his word that he's going to try to do this across the country. And Democrats have got to go state to state and do the same thing.
Let me ask you this. I mean, mostly for better, but I guess in some instances for worse, the Democratic Party is not the Republican Party. The Republican Party doesn't ask why. The Republican Party doesn't say, oh, I've never been for this before. The Republican Party does what Donald Trump wants it to do. The Democratic Party isn't like that. Do you have unity among elected Democrats, and have you seen data that suggests this is what the majority of your voters want?
Welcome to the new Democratic Party. I mean, the reality is that we can no longer play the respectability game. We can no longer always try to be the good guys. We can no longer always try to do the right thing at the right moment and pull test everything that we do. We have tried to do the right thing. We've supported independent commissions. We've always followed the letter of the law, which we should always try to do. We have tried to always be that party that brings people in and that does it in a way that is a respect and commands, I think, a large coalition. We've been losing elections. We lost a presidential election. We don't have control of the Congress. Yeah. And it is time for us to dig in deep and to match whatever the Republicans throw on us and then some. And it doesn't mean we've got to lose our values. Our values are still about inclusion, supporting those that need help the most, bringing folks in, growing the country, supporting working class folks. That is still who we are. But the way we get to those majorities, the way we win elections has to change. And I've not heard one Democrat or voter on the ground ever tell me once, hey, can you please dial it back a little bit? Or, hey, can you, being a little bit too aggressive? I am glad now that the party is finally in an aggressive posture, and we are not going to let the foot off the gas.
What is the process like? Because of all the things you just nodded to, the norms and respect for institutions, in some blue states, there are steps that Democrats have to take that someone like Governor Abbott doesn't have to take in Texas. Can you just take me through what happens now in California?
Absolutely. So in California, the process is a little bit more complicated, but we're going to get it done. I mean, we're essentially, the legislature right now is developing these maps. Obviously, with Congress and the governor's in the driver's seat. These maps will go in front of the legislature. The legislature will vote to put the maps in front of voters. That election is going to happen in November, likely. And so the whole process of actually getting on the ballot will happen in the next 2 weeks. Voters will then vote on the new map in November. And then that map will be the map that folks run for in these new seats in 2026. Now, the process in other states like New York or Illinois, they're all a little bit different. But I've been encouraging governors, legislators across the country, if you are in a blue state, or if we have some control over the redistricting process, the time to act is now. Do not wait for the Republicans to start rolling out their next list of states. The planning has to start immediately. If California can do it, and we're going to take it to the ballot, it's going to be very expensive and very difficult to do, but we're going to get it done. Every other state that has the ability to do so needs to do the same thing immediately.
Let me read you one more tweet from Governor Newsom, and then I want to bring my other panelists into this conversation. He added this, quote, when Speaker Little Man Johnson is standing in the unemployment line, he can thank Donald Taco J. Trump. Trump missed a simple deadline, something he has often done with his many failed businesses. Now California will fire him with new, more beautiful maps, highly anticipated historic press conference, and this is with your favorite governor. Is this a tone that you would like to see all your fellow Democrats adopt?
Look, yes. I mean, look. I think what the governor is doing here is being more aggressive, as far as people's tones or how they take on the Republicans in their state or their governors or the president is up to them. But the governor is doing exactly what we need to do and a true model in the way to take on Donald Trump. Donald Trump only understands brute force. He only understands someone actually standing up to him and pushing back aggressively. And I think the governor has captured the moment, and he's leading the country in putting these maps in front of voters. And as for the rest of the party and members of Congress and leadership and all of us that are involved, we just have to match that level of energy in our own different ways. I mean, you've had incredible guests and conversations, Nicole. You just obviously in Texas and across the country, people are pushing back, and these folks need to continue to do so, not just against Donald Trump, but Republicans in their own states.